We're recording here.
I thought you might need to turn the camera
Turn the
around
camera.
because they're just seeing black. Or is it
Okay.
working? There we
Yeah.
go. Yay. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Unite Show. We are hosting the Unite Show live every Thursday at 6:15 Pacific Standard Time. My name is Crystal. This is my partner, Shine, and together we are Unite's co-founders. So every Thursday we gather together and we have a different special guest that we get to interview, pick their brain, and basically get into some really juicy jam conversations about what they are offering. There also will be time for everyone to do a little share about if they have any projects or businesses that they would like support with from the community and from Unite. So there'll be time for that as well a little bit later. So tonight we have our very special guest. Oh, and tonight the subject is the business of well-being. That's what we're talking about with our very special guest, Mike Reed of SoundQuest. So he is tuning in with us. He's going to be here asking or helping answer your questions. He has taken his sound healing business to an amazing level where he is selling out all his events. He's traveling around getting to basically live the dream of a sound healer. And he's just got a lot of tips and tricks for how you can also sell out your wellness events. He also has an amazing event coming up that we're going to be talking about as well. So do stay tuned for that. So did you have something you wanted to add, Shine, or shall we carry on? He's just dealing with one of our multiple screens here. One day we'll figure out where we can, one of those where we can stream all of them at once, but we haven't got there yet. Are you good to continue?
Yep.
So we're going to start with Mike, just giving us a little howdy do and what you're into in the world, what you're offering. And then we're going to jump right in if people have questions. And if you don't have a burning question right away, don't worry, because we've got lots for Mike and you'll be able to enjoy those. So welcome, Mike. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So give us a little background and
Yeah.
overview. Like, what's the 5-minute sort of intro to who you are and what you're up to?
So I have a sound healing brand you call SoundQuest, and it started in 2017, and it all started in just the humble beginnings right behind me here in my living space. And I started doing one-on-one sessions with people just to get the experience, because I became fascinated with sound healing earlier on than that, many years ago, through my own journey of seeking healing modalities for myself. I stumbled upon sound healing, and it was so fascinating, and the effects of sound and vibration were just mind-blowing. So I got really intrigued and obsessed with it. And because I've been a musician most of my life, it's somewhat musical. So I kind of automatically understood it just based on my background in music. And so from there, I started, I was involved in a shamanic apprenticeship, and through experiences in that, those years in that apprenticeship, I brought some of that sound medicine in subtly, like here and there, like when we would be in a circle, when we'd be doing shamanic journeys. I was learning a lot about shamanic instruments like rattles and chakapas and like ikaros and that sort of thing, using your voice. And then I started collecting sound healing instruments and experimenting with them on just friends and family here one-on-one. I was just doing free one-on-one sessions with people in exchange for feedback, because I wanted to understand like how it works and what people liked and what people enjoyed, what people didn't like. And so just a lot of like experimentation for a long time. And then I finally went out and launched like my first public event, and I was using the space of a friend of mine in East Vancouver, and I started doing them once a week there. And then I realized soon after I started doing them so frequently that attendance started to kind of dissipate if you do it too often, too many times in a row. So I started thinking, well, maybe if I did one event over here in this side of town, and then another one on the other side of town, like in different communities, maybe I'd see more attendance, right? And sure enough, it started to turn out that that was kind of the key. And then I said, well, maybe I could just like kind of copy and paste this model like all over the whole region. And so I started lining up events and finding strategic partnerships with mainly yoga studios. And until I got up to about 12 or 15 events per month. And I have, since then, that's been kind of the model, just this circuit of events, this ongoing monthly circuit, one event in each kind of community in each area of town here in the Lower Mainland of British Columbia, once per month in each location. And so it's been a really amazing journey over the last, I've been doing this for 4 years now.
Amazing.
And it's really got a lot of momentum, and I've met a lot of great people through it, and it's just been a lot of fun. It's been an adventure.
I love it. Yeah, when I first saw you, I thought, man, this guy has great branding, really smart strategy. And I was like, who is this guy? I love this. I had never heard of you, and we've been running events since 2015, 2016. And so it was really cool to see you. And then you played at our first event at this new house here in April.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, that was epic. You really, the event that we did was really great. And it when you brought your magic in, it really brought some like depth to the experience for people, and it really created such a nice container. And if people haven't tried sound healing, I know maybe it can feel like maybe weird or boring or like, oh, like what can that do? But it really is amazing, especially in person, getting to, just laying down, letting those vibrations wash over you, and being in a room with other people. And I went really deep, and it was really beautiful. It's a powerful, powerful tool.
Yeah, exactly. If you haven't experienced sound healing, some people can have super, super deep experiences, but everybody I know, even if you don't go really, it's just a beautiful, relaxing, and it can be a really great intro or next step if you've done meditation before, or if you're even curious about any kind of plant medicine or any kind of breath work. It's a really great kind of introduction or next step into creating an altered state with sound, which is really, I find, just so magical. And you do such a beautiful job with all the instruments. Because I love hosting events and I love watching, I did a little bit of going into it, but I actually really enjoyed just watching you as a curator, the way you present and the way you really, felt like a dance along with the music you were creating, and just such an experience in going over the participants with different instruments and kind of deepening it and taking people along a really cool experience. So well done. You can really tell that I've been to many sound healing experiences, and it's always lovely, but you can really tell that you've done it like a million times, like so many times, that you're really, really top notch at it. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed that. And I really enjoyed that too. It was a great day. The whole day was great. And I think that, having that sound healing session at the end was a great way to kind of close out the evening. And everyone felt more connected after. It felt like everyone was, there's a lot of socializing all throughout the day. And then it was a great way to kind of lower the brainwave state and get everyone nice and calm and connected at the end.
Exactly. All the integration time is really, really valuable. Whenever I go to an event, and sometimes if you go to an event at a yoga studio or whatever, it's very lovely, but often you kind of create a little container and then it's over and it's gone. And it's so special when we're able to have a little bit more of that integration time, for sure. So for everyone who's listening and tuning in, the best way to find Mike and his events is didn't remember memorize your URL for your events. SoundQuest.
Yeah, soundquest.ca is my website, or you can follow me. I recommend follow me on Instagram and Facebook at SoundQuest.
SoundQuest and Eventbrite as well. You can see it's lovely to see all the different options. So many, if you're just tuning in, Mike has so many events happening, and it's so fun to be like, oh, I want to go, but oh, I don't have to like wait 3 months. I could go here, or I could go here, or I could go here, I could go here. But they do sell out. And that's why one of the reasons we have Mike on this love stream tonight is because he's kind of really mastered the formula for how to sell out his events. So I do recommend, if there's one you're interested in, don't be a Vancouverite and wait till the last minute to get your ticket, because they will be sold out.
So we're going to get to Q&A quick. I want to answer as many specific questions as possible, because I feel like that's where we can really add a lot of value to the people on the call, and also it usually ripples out to the people who watch afterwards or who are watching live.
Just a quick reminder for anyone who's just tuned in right now, this is being recorded, and we are going to be reposting the recording on YouTube and around the internet. So if you have a question and it either feels personal or you don't want to be recorded, please feel free to comment in the chat and we will get your question answered for you. And if you have a question you want to ask yourself, just raise your hand with the little raisey hand icon, or you can turn your image on and wave at us, and then we will get to you and get your questions answered. So we're basically here to talk about the business of well-being. So we are wanting to keep this a little bit focused on, how to run an event, how to host an event, how to sell out your event, especially. And Mike is an expert in the sound healing event industry world, but a lot of the techniques he uses do apply to other events as well. So we'll try and keep the questions in that area, but yeah, let us know what you want to talk about.
And just some background on us. So it's interesting, Mike has created a business for himself where he is, I think, Mike, you're full-time with SoundQuest, yes?
Yeah, this is all I do. This is
amazing. So congratulations, and what an accomplishment.
That's like a big deal.
Yeah. And what we did when we went full-time into events is we hosted larger monthly events. So you're doing 15 a month or however many a month. We did.
Yeah, well, now I've opened it up to private sessions as well. So I'm doing, I think, 10 public ones, with partnership venues. And then now people are booking me to come to their homes and corporate events and retreats and that sort of thing. And I'm really actually enjoying that a lot too.
I could see that being really, really good at the corporate stuff. And so what we did a different model where we did larger events only once a month. So we would usually have 150, 200 people plus. We did a bunch of shows at the planetarium. We did a 450 person TED Talk style event, many sort of full day festival style things. So different models, but the same results of being able to work full time doing something that we love and hosting events and connecting community. And we would book people, and we did book Mike and book people like Mike and get a whole bunch of different practitioners and come. So that's our background with events. So if anyone has any marketing questions, event questions, feel free to unmute yourself and just ask or put your hand up, and let's get into it.
Yeah, Miguel has a question he would like to ask Mike about his pricing model. So how have you kind of, especially, I guess you can speak to Vancouver, but other cities as well. We always find that a bit of a dance as well, kind of going too high, going too low. Like, what's your pricing strategy?
I started quite low when I first started out. I think I was selling tickets for $25 per person. And then as the experience improved and I got better and the experience got better, I started to incrementally increase the price. And now, they're up at just over $50 per person. And it's a 90-minute experience. So I would say it's well worth it, because You know, people are paying over $100 for, let's say, a 60-minute massage or,
Yeah.
you know, some kind of Reiki healing or treatments like that. So a 90-minute sound bath, this full immersion experience, I would say you're getting your value, you're getting your money's worth for sure.
And that's an interesting model to do, to start lower, build your reputation, build your craft, and then as you're selling out, you raise your prices and find that sweet spot where it feels like you're getting.
Yeah, I think I found the sweet spot. You know, I think it's affordable for a lot of people. So
Nice.
yeah, it
Have you
works. It's
found-
worked really well.
Sorry, finish. I interrupted you.
Oh
were
no,
you
go
gonna
ahead.
have you found you adjust your model for different cities or is it kind of across, because you are doing them all around now, not just in Vancouver?
Yeah, they're consistent throughout all my events. It's the same price for everyone, except for one venue I do in Whistler, because there's 2 levels in the venue. So there's the people that are closest to me paying the regular price, and then the people that are further away up on like the top floor, they're a little further away and they don't get that personalized touch up there. So it's a little bit cheaper. That's the only difference in ticket pricing so far.
Nice. And do you have any thought to, as you keep selling out, to raise the prices, or do you feel like that's kind of, this is where you want to stay for now?
Because we're going into the new year and inflation is happening and I'm keeping up with the price of everything else going up. I just increased my price just a little bit, just to kind of stay on par with inflation.
Nice. And that was going to be my next question too. And then yes, Melanie, we'll get to you. Do you find, I don't think there's much competition for you. I think you're very unique in what you do, and you offer such a special experience, but have you found maybe for other people too, if there's a lot of other people doing what they do you find it's better to kind of price yourself more competitively or be a little bit below, or do you find it didn't really make much of a difference?
I honestly never look at what other people I don't even know what other people are charging for their things. I don't pay attention to other people that are doing similar things, and I don't look at them as like a competitor. Sometimes I'll look at them and be interested in what they're doing, and maybe even go to their events because, you know, I'm curious to like be on the receiving end of something similar. And so yeah, I think I've found I've noticed though, you know, from what I have seen out there, it's about the same price as what other people are doing. Some people are a little less, some people are a little more.
Nice. I love that. Melanie, we'd love to hear from you.
Hello, everyone. Mike, it sounded like you were saying that you do the same pricing no matter what, if you were to go to, say, a public venue and then versus like you go into someone's home or maybe an office event. So do you do the same price depending
No, for the private events, the private sessions, I have a flat fee. So it's different. Okay. I'm not selling tickets to those. It's just, you know, someone hires me and I come in and I do the session, and sometimes they'll pool that cost between their group, or, you know, like maybe if it's a private group of 10 people, and my flat rate right now for those is $500. And so if they have like 10 people in their friend group or their family, they'll just put like $50 each in, let's say, kind of thing.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, great. Thank you. I'm trying to remember if I had another question I want to ask. That's okay. You guys continue.
And I'm guessing that the
Melanie.
corporate is probably the best paying option.
Yeah, I'm sure I could probably go higher than 500, but I just started doing these private ones in November. So I'm just kind of trying it out. And yeah, I think I could probably go a little higher than that. But for now, I'm just going to keep it at 500 just to get some momentum with it.
Nice. There was a conference called Masters of Scale in San Francisco, all about business and startups, but they had like different meditation and shamanic practices, and I think they had some kind of musical sound bath type of thing. So yeah, it'd be interesting. I think it's starting to get its way into the world a bit more, into the mainstream. And so yeah, like getting on the bill at like festivals or big conferences or things like that, I think would be really interesting.
Yeah, it's a great idea for sure.
Are you doing any online?
Yeah, that's a podcast too, right?
Pardon?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I've listened to that before. It's a good podcast.
Me too. Yeah, it's fantastic. Are you doing any online stuff?
Yeah, I have a course now. I've just launched my online course. It's called Sound Healer Business Blueprint. So it's going to show people everything that I've done over the years to get to where I am now, where I'm doing this full time and living a pretty good lifestyle from just doing sound bath events. And so it's time to show people the blueprint of how this all works in more detail.
Love it.
That's so amazing that you're at that point where you're kind of turning around and offering a hand up to the people behind you. I really feel like for us coming into the wellness event world, we were really flying blind, and there wasn't anybody. Everyone was kind of at the same point, just figuring it out, and we so much trial and error, and I'm so glad we did, because we learned a lot. But I really feel like if there had been somebody being like, here's a little course, teach you some tips and tricks, we could have, saved ourselves a little pain and suffering and a couple of years of hard knocks. So thank you for doing that.
Exactly, right? That's what this is all about. It's about condensing that time and that trial and error and all that struggle, and just giving you a streamlined roadmap. So you don't have to make all the mistakes I made and take as much time as I took to get it off the ground.
Yeah.
So would that just be for people, for sound healers, or would it be for people leading other kind of wellness events? Could they benefit, like a breathwork practitioner? Would they benefit from your course?
Absolutely. You can take the same principles I'm going to teach and apply it to whatever kind of event you want to put on. So anybody who's into breath work or cacao ceremonies or ecstatic dance type things, or anything kind of in terms of health and wellness events, you can take the same model and apply it to that type of business as well.
Oh,
and
beautiful.
I have some students already signed up that are a very eclectic. They pull a lot of different types of skill sets, let's say. So there's a student that's a yoga teacher, but she's also a Reiki master and does cacao ceremonies, and now she wants to include sound and sound healing into what she does. And she's signed up for the course, and so she's going to start creating events that not only include sound healing, but all types of other things as well. And yeah, I'm excited for her. She's going to do great.
Beautiful. And you said that course is starting in January, and people can find more information at soundquest.ca.
Exactly, yeah.
Soundquest.ca, you can find it. It's called Sound Healer's Blueprint.
Sound Healer Business Blueprint, yeah.
Business Blueprint. And that starts in January. I highly recommend checking that out. That's really cool that it will be supportive for other modalities other than sound healing. And I feel like I would be much more likely to go to an event once they have they've kind of that stamp of they've been through mics, they know what they're doing. Because I feel like a lot of times I'm hesitant to go to other people's events after producing our own, because I'm busy. I take the time out of my day, and if it's scattered and disorganized and not really professional, it feels a bit like a waste of my time. So maybe you'll have a list on your site somewhere where people can see mic certified events, and then we can find some more amazing events that way, because that would be really helpful for us.
For sure.
Have you done any online sound baths?
Yeah, during COVID, I was doing a lot of live stream sound baths. Just right here where I live, you can see behind me. I'm actually doing some shooting, some content creating back there. That's why it's all set up. But I was doing live stream sound baths on Instagram Live
Mhm.
during COVID when all my venues were shut down and we couldn't come together in person. And so that was interesting, and it was just by donation, and people were very generous. I was really appreciative of that because my income just stopped, and it was kind of a rough time. So doing those live streams were really helpful.
Nice.
And it was a little weird though, because I'm just sitting there by myself in front of my phone, so it felt a little bit lonely and awkward. But people reported back and they said they really enjoyed it. They used it to go to sleep, and I would do them in the evenings. And yeah, I think people still got a lot of value from those.
Yeah, I think that was a really big gift from COVID, is we learned that as much as it doesn't replace in person, actually and that's what we've found too, doing these live events online, through this, we still get a lot more connection than just a Facebook message or a chat. Like, we actually get to have conversations, and yeah, we're still getting a piece of that intimacy. So that's good to hear that there's still a lot of value from doing online. I just wanted to speak quickly, as you were pointing out your gongs back there. That was one of my favorite things about Mike's SoundQuest events, is he brings in these beautiful gongs, and I love the crystal bowls. They're beautiful, but for me, there's something so good about the gongs, and I love that deep resonance. So yeah, if you're looking for gongs, go to Mike for sure.
And he has a very Instagrammable setup where you can take selfies.
In front of the gongs, yes.
Melanie, you have a question?
Yeah, and then we'll get to this other question in the chat as well.
Yes, thank you. I'm not sure if you're going to bring this up at some point anyways. I wanted to know, like, I know Mike does the sound healing and all of us have different types of modalities that we may offer, but I wanted to know, and obviously we have to try in terms of like where we want to promote online versus in person. So I just wanted to get Mike's feedback in terms of where to promote, and also like your launch time frame. Do we give people a heads up it's like a month away or more, or that?
Yeah, so I like to leave about at least 4 or 5 weeks ahead of the event if it's a new event. So if it's a brand new location I've never done, and it's just launching for the first time, I would leave at least 4 to 5 weeks, like, to promote it and have that runway, so that you have that time, so it doesn't feel so rushed to try to sell it out.
We would generally err on the side of 6 weeks, I remember, and 4 weeks felt like, okay, it's go time.
Yep.
But yeah, we would usually pick 6 weeks.
But we also were selling out bigger spaces.
We're doing big ones, yeah.
More.
Well, you got to remember also that there's a few key components here. So one major factor in all this is strategic partnerships. So I like to choose venues. So I like to do my research before I choose where I'm going to host these events, and I like to make sure that I typically partner with yoga studios, because yoga studios, there's a synergy there with health and wellness already. Yeah. And if that yoga studio has already an existing community and following, like a large community that is pretty tight, and they do good marketing to their followers, then you can really leverage their marketing and community that already exists. So sometimes it doesn't take much effort or time at all to fill up your event if you have the right partner venue.
Yeah, well, they have a vested interest to get new people in the door as well. So
there's two things there. Like, you want to make sure that you negotiate a split situation, like a revenue split situation, so that they're incentivized to actually help and contribute to fill up the event, as opposed to just a flat rental rate, like an hourly rental rate or something like that. You want to include the venue in the revenue split. So I usually do a 70-30 split with the venue, but I'll go as much as a 60-40, because if they're going to include a good marketing effort, and they're gonna have the room set up for my event before I get there. Like they'll have yoga mats laid out and bolsters for everyone. And then if they provide like an employee that is gonna help check people in and assist in that, I'm happy to do a more generous split because that goes a long way.
Yeah, and then you just get to show up and do you instead of having to be an event coordinator as well, which is really fun.
Yeah, it really leverages a lot of mental bandwidth.
Yes, that's the piece that we really kind of come back to when we've connected and chatted with other people in the wellness world running wellness events. Most of the time we love gathering the community, we love holding the space, but the actual ins and outs of running the event, the promo, the hustling to get the tickets out there, and then actually, you know, doing the ins and outs on the day take away from, you know, getting to do what we love, which is whether the community piece or the healing piece or whatever the offering is. And it really is valuable, like Mike said, to find a partner who's willing to play with you. And yeah, if you bring in new people into their studio, they're way more likely to have those people coming back and doing classes. And for you too, they're bringing in they're offering their existing clientele a lovely new experience, which is also beneficial for them and their communities. So yeah, well done.
And then Ida and Massa asked how you mic your instruments, I think.
Oh yeah, I do not use any kind of external amplification. I don't have any extra equipment that amplifies, or I don't deal with electronic stuff. I just find that to be unnecessary because of these instruments. You know, I work in rooms maybe on average of 20 to 30 people, and these instruments are powerful enough to fill the room on their own. And also the potential for like technical difficulties when you're dealing with wires and electronics and stuff like that, it can go haywire real quick. So I avoid using stuff like that unless it's a big event. So, you know, I have done that before. I've done an event where there was like 70 people and it was a big, huge room. And we had to, you know, I had to wear like a headset and had to, you know, have microphones. But for the most part, I never use microphones.
And what I really enjoyed with your offering as well is that then you would, even in our house, which was a bit of a big spread out space, and then you would come around throughout the event and play different instruments over people as well. So even if you were in the back, you kind of got to experience those softer instruments close up. So that was a really, I felt like, unique offering as well.
That's correct. Yeah, I do move around a lot in the sessions. I walk around with a lot of the instruments, but the stationary instruments like the gongs are loud enough to get everyone in the room.
Yeah, definitely.
Ida and Massa, you have a couple other questions in there, but they might have already been answered. So make a note or jump in if you want. Melanie.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Sorry, thank you so much. Yeah, this is Massa. No, I appreciate it, but the question was more about online, because at some point you mentioned that you were offering online, and with online, the sound doesn't really go. I mean, in person vibrations, of course, it's there. The mic is not necessary, as you were mentioning, unless the venue is big. But for online, the question was what did you do, or how did you navigate that?
Yeah, I remember trying to tinker with Zoom, and I didn't like using Zoom for the sound bath because it was so glitchy, I found, and always something kind of went wrong. And so I just started using Instagram Live, and it was just my iPhone. That was it. Wow. And it worked great. Yep. So it was very simple and easy.
Nice.
Beautiful.
And then Melanie was asking, besides Eventbrite, what else do you do?
To sell tickets?
Yeah, I'm guessing.
So it goes two ways. Either way, like, so I'll either sell the tickets on Eventbrite, and I get the money into my bank account that when it gets when the event finishes, Eventbrite will transfer the money about 5 business days later, and then I'll pay the split to the yoga studio or the venue that I'm working with, and then they'll send me an invoice. But if the yoga studio wants to sell tickets through their own website, oftentimes that is the case too. And I don't mind that at all, because they take care of all the admin around selling tickets and the guest lists and everything. So they'll run it through their website, and then they'll pay me out after the event, and then I'll send them an invoice. Does that make sense?
What about for marketing? Like what platforms are you using?
Oh, for marketing. Yeah, I just use Instagram, Facebook, Eventbrite, and then there's a few little strategies I use around getting it to more people beyond my own following, which is, you know, obviously all the stories in my Instagram, which also go on to Facebook. I tag the venue that I'm working with, and then they'll share that story with their following. And then I'll do things like join Facebook groups that like are community Facebook groups. So say I'm doing an event in White Rock. I'll join all the White Rock events, White Rock community, White Rock bulletin board, White Rock, like just search for White Rock or wherever your event is going to be, and join all those Facebook groups. And sometimes they have like thousands and thousands of people in these community groups. And then you just post your event in there and just kind of sneak it in on the bulletin board or on the feed of those groups. And like, for example, my event in Whistler, there's this group called I forget what it was. It's like a Whistler community group. It's like Whistler's Winter or something. And then I just post my event on there. It has like 40,000 people in that group. And so it's like really good, free kind of guerrilla marketing.
And what we've really been enjoying, as much as Facebook can have its things and it's limiting things, which we find frustrating, like not letting you invite a lot of people to Facebook events. But the one thing they're doing really well right now is any event link that you post, any Facebook event link that you post in any group, Facebook group, they put that and the groups can adjust it, but definitely on the side and sometimes on the top, and you can see all the events that are posted in that group. And so as they're coming up, you'll see, you know, your event will be, okay, you know, this is happening today, this is happening this week. And I know a lot of people now, they'll just go to, we have a big Unite Vancouver group, which has got, I think, almost 4,000 people in it now. And a lot of people will be like, what's happening in Vancouver, you know, tonight? And you just go to Unite Vancouver and you're like, ooh, sound healing, ooh, cacao ceremony, ooh, and you just get to look through the events instead of having to scroll through the feed. So I really appreciate that they're doing that. And then a lot of these groups too, people aren't posting the events, or they just post like flyers for their events and they don't actually post event links. So we've found that's really, really valuable to actually create a Facebook event for your event. And then, you know, make sure it's linked to your business page, linked to your ticket pages, whatever, but then you use that link, and Facebook really supports you staying in Facebook. So we've found when we post links to Eventbrite or outside of Facebook, they limit that reach because they want people to stay in Facebook. So we do a lot of, no matter, you know, what we're doing, we make a Facebook event, and that really helps keep people seeing it, because Facebook is encouraging people to stay on Facebook. So that's another little hack. Use Facebook, stay on Facebook.
And Facebook event.
I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah. So that's because we used to share like the Eventbrite link because we wanted people to get quicker to be able to buy the tickets, or like the yoga studio link. But what we found is actually using creating a Facebook event that has a link to the yoga studio or has a link to Facebook where you buy the tickets. You can put that link there, but that the actual link that you're sharing to the group is a Facebook event. And that's really was anyway a really useful little hack. So
Facebook groups, there's a little bit more organic reach, and less their Facebook is less able to moderate how many people see that, because people have their own notification settings set for groups, and group posts do show up in their feeds as well.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing it's the same, that if it's a Facebook link, it'll be more likely to be shown in their feed if they don't have their notifications on.
Yeah.
And so that's good.
Another little
and
hack.
of course, I'll be using the unite.love platform. soon.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I was just thinking, I'm like, the reason, I don't think anyone loves, posting in all these Facebook groups and like
Oh my God,
doing
no.
all this marketing stuff. It's not like, the reason you do it is to just get people there. And if there was a better way to get people there, like, people didn't love chopping wood and making fires when that was needed to stay warm. But now that there's, heating in the house, it's like, you don't do that as much. And I feel like we're doing the same thing with Unite. It's like we're building something that is going to help bring people who are looking for this stuff and people who are offering this stuff together and make it so much easier so that you don't really have to. And one thing that we're launching is, instead of having like all these groups where if you want to rent a room or sell an event, there's like, in Vancouver, there's at least 20 event groups, if not more.
And there's like wellness event, like there's a lot.
Specific like wellness event groups.
Yeah.
And a lot of the same people are in them. And there's of course some difference, but it's just really inefficient and silly the way that it's structured. And so we're gonna have it so that there's channels. And so it's like Vancouver events, and then there's a sub channel of like Vancouver wellness events, and then a sub channel of that of like sound healing, Vancouver sound healing events. And people can follow specific channels. And so if they want to get notified for sound healing, boom, they can get a notification when someone posts in there. And then same, if we'll have things like, if sound healing is, if there's scientific research or anecdotal evidence that sound healing is helpful for things like relaxation or headaches or whatever you want to say, and someone logs in and says, oh, I'm dealing with this symptom, I'm can't sleep, or I have headaches, or I'm stressed, it might recommend this specific type of event, even if they've never heard of sound healing or don't know that it's useful. It's like, oh, a lot of people have found that this is useful for this, and things like that. So that's our goal, is to make it just so much easier and allow people like you, like Mike and other people, to really focus more on what they love to do and what they're best at, and be able to scale that up and do bigger venues and more people and travel. That's the other thing too. If you don't have a community, going to Miami, it's like, if once this is all set up, you'd be able to go anywhere in the world where there was a good following on Unite and just sell out your events and it just be so easy. It's like, let's do that.
For anyone who doesn't know and has tuned in to join us for the first time, Shine and I have created a new online wellness platform. Think Facebook meets Eventbrite meets Airbnb meets Amazon for the wellness community. So we've really taken our favorite pieces out of all these platforms, and we're creating one cohesive spot, a one-stop shop. So it's still in its baby format. We've just been building it since, Shine's going to do a screen share and give you guys all a tour. We've just been building since COVID, and you can find us at www.unite.love. That's unite.love. There's no .com, no nothing else. It's just .love. And right now you're able to share your products, services, your products and events. We're still working on building up the services. And we have a love feed, like a news feed. We have, this is events here. So you can see events that are happening, and then products as well. So it's our intention to create a free and ad-free. We'll keep it free and ad-free. So it's free to join, and it's completely ad-free. We really don't want people to be able to pay to be seen. We want you to be seen because you're offering value and because the community agrees that you have something of value to offer. And yeah, this is our lovely spot. So if you want to help Unite out, if you have enjoyed this call, if you're enjoying this call and you want to support joining Unite, sharing your feedback, if there's anything that we could do better, what you would love to see. We really are building this platform for you guys, for the wellness community. And we're really hoping to solve a lot of the problems that we have come across in how we can support and bring more wellness, more spirituality, more mindfulness, all these kind of things that are a little bit leading edge. Still, we're really excited to help bring this to the mainstream. So that's what Unite is. And yeah, go check it out. And thank you, Mike, for putting in that little plug. Sometimes we forget to talk about what we're doing. Yep. So let's get back to questions here.
Any other questions or thoughts here, anyone?
Burning questions. What would you like to ask Mike?
Sophia has a yoga studio called Rasa Yoga, right? In in North Van, and then another one in Burnaby, I think, or somewhere else.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
We can.
We can. Oh, okay. I have a studio in Port Coquitlam, and in, well, the North Vancouver, we closed it in May.
Got it.
But yes, Mike was
That my
actually,
favorite venue, Sophia.
huh?
Your North Van studio was my favorite venue, and I'm so sad that
Yeah.
it did that.
That was always sold out, and there's always like a waiting list.
Yeah.
So that was really good. I don't know what he did. I came late, so I don't even know. I missed out. But yeah.
And Sophia's doing every Friday in Port Coquitlam, or wherever she is.
Yes, in Poco.
A sound healing in Poco every Friday.
Sound healing in Poco, and I'm doing one on December 31st,
How fun.
like a New Year's Eve, at 10:30 at night. So there's a few spots remaining.
Nice.
Yeah.
So fun.
And you can find tickets for the Friday evening ones on unite.live as well.
Yay.
Yeah. So we've built the basic functionality for selling tickets and selling products, so you can do that.
Yeah.
And Christelle has been to many of our events, and her lovely daughter, who I'm guessing is whose hair we're seeing is awesome. Hi.
Yeah, just came out of the bath. Wanting to say hi.
Yes,
Aw.
yes, yes.
Don't worry, I won't do it.
We've been living in Mexico now. We live in Mexico,
Oh, wonderful.
but we're come to Vancouver more often. And my husband trained in Africa under shamans about Iboga plant medicine, and
Oh, beautiful.
we're starting a new project now supporting people healing through plant medicine. So he's got a walking billboard.
Amazing. I've heard really good things.
And we're doing it by donation. The minimum suggested donation is only $111, and it's about 8 to 12 hours that we spend with the people.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
I've heard that's really helpful with people with addiction, dealing with addiction and stuff.
I have two.
Not only. Yes.
Sorry, Mike.
Say again.
Oh yeah, I'm just curious about this because I potentially know someone that could really use that kind of help right now.
Mhm.
And yeah, they keep relapsing and going back to rehab. It's not working, and I know about Ibogaine, and I'm just curious to know more. Maybe that it could be the catalyst to like once and for all cure this person.
Beautiful. Yeah, please feel free to share links in the chat. And
Okay.
Sophia as well, you can share links to your workshop and your offering and your studio. And that's really part of the vision for the Unite show, is to connect community, is for people to share and support each other. So that's what we're here to be doing. So please do feel free to share your links. And yeah, we will have more space for everyone to share their offerings as well once we've got through a few more questions for Mike, if anyone's got some burning questions.
And if not, we can just continue on this thread, and everyone can introduce themselves and just take a minute and just say, your name and what you're up to, and if you do have an ask or an offer or a specific question, just feel free to jump in or put your hand up, popcorn style.
Oh. All righty then. Well, it looks like then we're good to let's do a little round robin because I think we have some lovely people here. So we've heard from Miguel and Christelle. We haven't heard from you. Amelie, you could share about your space. And Diliana, I know you've got some lovely offerings as well. So if you want to just take a moment, just so you know, this is being recorded and we will be sharing it. So it'll be good promo for you. And you're welcome to, we can send you the video and you can cut it up as well and share it. And yeah.
Oh, before we get into that, that's one more thing. A really great group to check out is Zen Den Meditation in Gastown. And they have done a really amazing job with TikTok. And so they've built, I think it's almost 1 million followers now on TikTok. And they do these very beautiful but simple videos where they'll play a sound bowl and have a tarot card, and it's just very, very lovely, but simple stuff that anyone can do with a phone. And they've really done well with TikTok and using these platforms. Gary Vaynerchuk is an amazing marketing person to follow, and he talks about underpriced attention. And when these platforms are being built that rely on advertising revenue, when there's more creators than there are advertisers in a balance, there's a lot more organic reach. When there's more people who are consuming the content than there are advertisers and content creators, there's more organic reach because they're always looking for more content to feed people, because there's so many people scrolling TikTok and there's just not enough content to fill it up. So there's a ton more organic reach. Whereas when Instagram or Facebook, it's really at scale, and there's a lot of people who know about marketing on there. You see like maybe one ad every few posts now. And so finding these platforms that are sort of coming up, you can get a lot of free organic reach. And so they really leverage that, especially I guess during the pandemic, and they'll do free sound baths and things. So yeah, definitely using these different short form video platforms like TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. And so what you can do is when we post the replay for this on YouTube, you can just cut using iMovie or whatever. You can probably download something simple. You can cut your little thing that you're talking about your business and share it as a short video, or you can do your own. And that's part of the reason why we're doing these Unite shows as well, is to create this content that can then be shared at YouTube and all these things, and we'll cut little nuggets that we think are useful, and that's been a good way for a lot of people to get a lot of visibility, especially during the pandemic, but even still.
Yeah.
So who wants to go? It looks like we've got an amazing group here.
Yeah. So if we can, yeah, please.
I'll go. Oh, go ahead.
My name is Emily, and I have a crystal shop in Port Moody called Liberate Your True Self. It's a little bit hidden in a back street, so you can look on my website, liberateyourtrueself.com, to get the address and direction. And I do spiritual healing as well as chakra and aura reading there as well.
Beautiful. And do you have a specific ask, something that you're like looking for, or a specific question, even if it's not for this group, that maybe someone can help you with?
No, I can't think right now. Anything specific. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, please share the link to your shop in the chat so people can just grab that and go to it right now. And yeah, we'd love to have you on Unite too, and be able to get some of your offerings up there so that we can share them with the community. So fun to have new shops and new physical spaces that we can support. And we understand that that's, an ongoing, you've got overhead, and we want to make sure that you keep doing you. So we'll keep sending people your way.
And when we post the replay, you can comment on there as well and put your links in.
Yes, please do. And we'll do our best to tag everyone as well.
Tanya.
Hello, good to see you guys. Yeah, I've been cocooning recently, so just kind of coming back out. So just wanted to say first, thank you, Mike. That's awesome information. I appreciate it. I have a little business called Adventures for Connection, and I'm a conscious concierge connector. So I run a painting business here in Vancouver, and I know a lot of people in Vancouver. And I actually know a lot of healers, and lots of friends are healers. And I actually have a spot up at Vedette Lake where we do retreats. And I don't know if you've heard of it. It's got ley lines. That might really fun to have a little sound bath up there. So I'll reach out to you to. Is
that the center of the universe?
It's the center of the universe.
Hey, I've heard of this place. Apparently it's epic.
Yeah, and I was called up there during the pandemic. I was working with the master dowser and was trying to explain ley lines to people. And I looked it up online, trying to figure out like, okay, what's layman's terms for this, right? And it popped up and I was like, oh, I got to go there. And so, yeah, I went up there, and I've been going up there in the summer and spring. I'm up there, and fall I'm up there once a month at least. So
how far is it from Vancouver?
It's about a 5-hour drive all in with a stop for gas and stuff. So, but it's not too bad. Yeah, and there's a lake
Towards like
swim in.
Kelowna or something?
It's in between Kamloops and Cache Creek, down Dead Man's Road, Dead Man Valley Road. Yeah, yeah. So
Let us know
it's a
what's
pretty
happening there.
magic little spot. Yeah, and then we're starting. Go ahaid.
Crystal's mom, Kaisa, has a place in Princeton.
Yeah.
So we often
nice.
will go and visit and hang out in the Okanagan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good spot. Yeah, anytime you want to go there. Ray and Diana are super lovely. And I've been doing painting for them as well and cleaning up the cabins. So full meal deal. But what I wanted to talk about too is we're doing some local stuff now. And so we've rented out the Salt Cave for February 5th. And so some of this information was great. And we have Matthew Cosell as well as Reiki practitioners. So we've got a sort of a trifecta going on for that. And there's room for 8 tables in there. So everyone will have their own practitioner for the time there. And as well as Matthew. So we thought that was a really beautiful combination. And so I'll be putting that out quite a bit more. Yeah. So just wanted to share that. And I'm all about collaborating and happy to chat about anything if anyone has.
Yeah, please, if you add that as an event on Unite, and you can sell tickets through there and we'll promote it. What we do is when people add an event on Unite, we'll either create a new event on Facebook and invite everyone to it, or invite people to your already existing Facebook event.
Yeah.
And we'll sort of put all of our energy behind promoting these events. And we actually helped sell like $1,200 worth of tickets for a retreat in Whistler in 2 days.
Yeah.
And so by doing this similar strategies that Mike, we just find Facebook groups and use Facebook events and Instagram and whatever. And so
Perfect. I love that.
Yeah.
I love
that. That's for us right now, the number one thing that we need on Unite on the platform is users and people adding their offerings to it. So right now we're doing like mega promotion for anybody who's playing with us on Unite. We're really there to just get it out everywhere. It goes in our newsletters every week to our communities. So yeah, lots of visibility. So get it to us as soon as possible and we'll make sure we spread it around.
Ooh, and also a selfish question. So our business model is transactional. So like Facebook and Instagram and Google, they all want you to pay for ads. And when you make a sale, they don't take a percentage. But if you pay for ads and you don't make a sale, you're out of pocket. And so we want to switch that model up and just do transactional revenue. So basically, if kind of like Mike was saying with the revenue split with the studio. So if you make a sale and if we help connect you with someone, then we take a percentage of that sale. We're still working out the exact percentage and it might fluctuate based on the type of offering, whether it's a product or an event or whatever. But right now we can only have one set percentage for everything. And I'm just curious if everyone wants to also just think about it or weigh in now of like what percentage would feel good for you to give Unite for helping facilitate that. And I think eventually too, we'll have to have multiple, because if we're doing a bunch of promotion, that's different than if you're just using it like Eventbrite for ticketing and just like for pure transactions. So if anyone has any thoughts, happy to hear that as well.
What does Eventbrite take? I can't remember off the top of my head.
It's about 6% total. It's like 3% for credit cards and 3% for Eventbrite. Is that right, Mike? Yeah. I think that's ish.
Yeah.
7% popped into my head.
You're about right there.
Yeah, 6-7%. Yeah.
And what we found is when we used Eventbrite, we got very little organic traffic from them. We sent people to Eventbrite, but I don't think we ever got people finding us organically through Eventbrite. So they're purely the transactional part. So for us right now with Unite, we really do want to help promote people and help sell the tickets. And in the past, we've done affiliate marketing where, you know, you give us the same as like Mike was saying with the studio, and we get a percentage of tickets we sell. And we're really, because we're still building, it's very valuable for us to show investors, to show traffic through Unite. So getting the sales to run through our platform is like huge for us and really, really helpful. So if the percentage feels like a deterrent for you, we really want to work together with people, especially at the beginning, to find what's comfortable and find a way to work it. So if you do kind of come and go, oh, like that's hard for me or that's not working for me, please do reach out and let us know so that we don't lose your contribution and lose your engagement, because that means so much to us right now.
Yeah, we'd rather have more people at a lower percentage than a higher one.
Yeah.
Yay.
Shall we continue around and everyone can continue to introduce themselves? We have a few more people we'd love to hear from.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Just before we go into that flow, just to kind of continue being in the conversation that you're having, is this your only source of revenue from Unite?
Yeah.
No, so right now it is, but we want to build similar to ClassPass, some sort of membership model where people can pay a certain amount per month and then they'll get discounts on different things. So if they're going to a lot of different classes or doing regular massages or things like that, they'll basically get a deal and it would be less overall for them than if they were paying like for each thing individually.
We envision Unite doing is very much like what Airbnb has done for the travel industry. And we've used Airbnb a lot, both as hosts and as guests. And we found it's such a easy way to find a place. You can sift and sort, say pet friendly, not pet, I want a hot tub, I wanted this, I wanted that, and you can find really specific what you're looking for. So we never use any other platform for finding a space to stay. And as hosts, it was amazing. And they charge a lot, and they take a chunk from us and a chunk from they take a chunk from both ends, from the guest and the host. But what we found is it was so worth paying them that money because we did zero work. We posted it and put the photos up, and we would maybe do a little tweaking the price if they suggested a little bit lower, but basically we put it up and it was sold out. And that's what we really want Unite to do. And right now it's not doing that yet, of course, because we haven't built all that in. So we're trying to do that manually for you guys. And it's really our intention that the marketing will go down so much that it will be worth paying more, maybe a higher percentage, because you put your event up and it's sold out right away. So that's our vision. But of course, until we get there, we really want to work with everybody to make it easy and an easy hell yes to play on Unite.
Amazing. Yes. And maybe we'll go into introducing ourselves. Thank you, first of all, Shaina and Crystal, for putting this together, and Mike for sharing your wisdom and experiences. And definitely not easy to carve your path in wellness. So definitely acknowledging that. And my name is Eda.
And my name is Masa.
So we are the co-leaders of Quantum Care. It is a neuroscience-based educational coaching and consultancy firm where we support individuals, groups, teams, organizations, and events with wellness, mindful movement, and growth coaching. So I have been in health for over a decade. I'm also still currently working with the Ministry of Health, designing healthcare programs that is kind of anchored in prevention, disease prevention. And so definitely in alignment with mental health, alternative ways of actually activating that healer within, where folks can actually really see how the system works, how we can work together, like the sound healing, the waves of those frequencies. And in our offering, we also have movement, where I am trained Meridian Yoga and movement therapist, where I incorporate traditional Chinese medicine. So kind of everything comes together, especially in holistic health. We know that. And so we bring that kind of science and that preventative methods of alternative medicine more integrated. And we are offering currently monthly at a local clinic and weekly at a studio, as well as kind of managing our own, of course, work. And we were in Portugal last summer, sorry, actually offering to 40,000 people our services, which was wonderful, so exciting. And we are looking forward to growing in the field and seeing that, I mean, we are in the heaven of wellness, aren't we? Like, I mean, we
Especially
live in
with BC's
BC.
nature, yeah.
Yeah, BC's nature and higher consciousness around healing. So I find that your platform is going to be really beneficial, kind of like a one-stop shop where things are kind of getting overwhelming. Like, it's good to be able to streamline things, and we look forward to working with you and seeing what future may bring for us. If you like to add anything. I mean, she's a storyteller, so we do also like move and motivate storytelling sessions, different levels of learning and integrating information. Please.
No, thank you. This it summarizes it beautifully. Yeah, thank you for hosting this space for a community to come together. Like, especially with COVID and kind of everyone going into their own cocoon or doing their own thing. As Eda always says, how are we coming back after this shake of routine, shake of comfort zones? So looking forward to hopefully finding a new comfort zone. I appreciate the .love. So we'll see how, it's, if everything comes into place. So
yes, we are looking forward to continue serving the community. We believe that diversity, we believe that everyone is unique. So they are going to be attracted to unique paths and learn from each of them. We attended Mike's offering in Yaletown. It was a wonderful session. So, everyone is different, and so great to have an opportunity to explore and work together, perhaps. Yeah.
Maybe one thing to add for me, I think I was Eda's student and I continue to be her student, as well as going through the path of life and business together. That it has been all of these modalities. I'm not from Canada. I'm originally from Damascus, from Syria. And for me, all of those modalities contribute massively to my own healing journey. So the more, and I didn't know that all of this exists on the west coast of the North American continent, and I didn't know that Vancouver is this big and like the Lower Mainland overall with all of those healing practices. So being able to cross paths with folks like everyone here on the call, and as well as Eda, for me, it's quite mind blowing to be able to live in such communities. So looking forward to seeing how this will unfold. Thank you so much.
Oh, beautiful. That's so nice to hear.
Yeah, we met at the beach party, right? The Unite Yoga beach party.
Did we?
You guys came.
Are you the DJ?
Not the DJ, but we were the hosts. We hosted that.
You were the hosts on the beach?
Yes.
Yeah, the yoga beach party. Good for you.
Oh,
That was good.
Memory.
Wow. Those were such fun. Oh, when did they come at the later ones or the early ones?
We're also hosting a New Year's Eve gathering, and so send us a message. We'll send you the details.
Yeah.
Anyone who's in the area, let us know.
Thank you so much for the invitation. We're supporting an event that's happening with the Flying Sage community. Unfortunately, energetically, we'll all be together.
Yes.
Forward to we'll be holding space for another community with sound healing and
beautiful
circle.
And do reach out. We're also looking to host regular in-person meetups like this, where we're going to get to share what everyone has to offer and what people are looking for support with. So stay in touch. We're going to, like you said, regather after COVID and get support.
I feel like we need another big event.
We do.
I really want to see people.
Many.
Actually, we've been really talking, and like Mike was saying, we've done a lot of hosting events, and then we would go and hire or sometimes do profit share with the different presenters and offers. But what we found is we still ended up doing like 98% of the event work. And we have the Unite platform to now take care of. So that's been a bit of a deterrent for us going into another big event. So we really are open to teaming up with a couple other people that want to do like, you know, like 50-50, 50-50, split with a couple of other people where we split the work and we split the profit, and just so that we can, like, I've got like enough to support like a fifth, and then if we get another person who wants to do a fifth, like I feel like then we can do it. So that's just really been holding us back from wanting to step in and do like 100% of the effort to get a big event going. But we absolutely love the big. We did a lot at the St. James Community Square in Kitts, which is a beautiful venue, a beautiful community space. So if anyone's excited to host a bigger kind of couple hundred people event, please reach out, and we'd love to do some collab.
Actually, that's a really good venue. Like, you should host something there. They might not be the best for like
have you done anything there?
They're big.
Tell me about the venue. Did you where Kid, right? Do you hear me?
No.
Go ahead. Go again.
Oh, I didn't hear what the venue name was.
It's St. James Community Square on 11th or 9th.
Yeah.
It's just off of Broadway.
It's on 10th.
Yeah, I think I know where that is. I think I've been in there.
It's a beautiful old church, and they don't do like they're a big community space. They have a lot of like,
I think it's like $90 an hour or something.
It's really, really
very
affordable. It's something, it's not so cheap by the hour, but it's way cheaper when we would just rent it for the whole day. And it's like
$800
$800 for the day.
like
and that's
24 or like 12 hours.
It's like, like 11 to 11. You can't do past midnight because it isn't residential, so it has to be day events. But that's what we did, a lot of the events. So we would start out, we do like an hour yoga class or meditation. Christelle can maybe give some rah-rahs about our events because she was there. So we do like a yoga meditation, and then we would always have vendors. So then we would have like a vendor break with like, 10, 20 different amazing vendors, and then we would do like a talk or a workshop for a few hours, and then we do another vendor break, and then we would do some other offering, and then we would do like a dinner break, and then cacao, sound healing, dance party,
speed healing, which was really fun.
The speed healing was super fun, which was like speed dating. Mike experienced that at our event in May, where we had a bunch of different vendor or healers, and everyone would get like a little 10-minute, you'd sign up for little 10-minute mini sessions. And that created both people getting to experience a lot of different modalities that maybe you wouldn't try or pay for a full session, but getting to just try it. And then because it was in a public, like we were in a big circle in the church. So I think people felt like it was much a safer environment to go have a healing with someone you don't know. And everyone found that each experience kind of built one upon the other. So they had this like huge, like healing, like deep dive, and they're like, I went to this next person and they had the next key for me. And then the next person, they don't even know each other, but they like piled on. It was just, yeah. And the healers found that for them to get to heal in community and to be with like, everyone was doing mostly some form of energy work. So like the energy vortex was amazing. And the healers really felt like it brought back a bit of this primal, the way we used to heal in sanctuary or in tribe and community, instead of just, you in your little studio doing your one-on-one.
It's like that scene in Avatar where they're all kind of like sending energy, at the same time. It was really beautiful.
Yeah.
We all got synchronized.
So if anyone's excited about supporting, bringing some of that back to Vancouver, let us know, and we're all in to jam on that.
Yeah.
I'm going to vouch for the events. Your events were amazing. I really loved them at that location. And what I really loved, and I remember this well, is you had a place downstairs for children at least one of the events. It was so that moms and parents could enjoy the event while the kids were busy engaged in the space downstairs. It's a good event, a good place for that kind of thing. And it even has a little thing upstairs where if their kids are allowed, you can just take them privately upstairs. It was handy.
You always did so good. Your daughter's so sweet. We appreciate it.
I was vibing high at the end of the Unite Fest in White Rock.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, after that speed healing, I was just on a whole different frequency. It was great.
I love it.
It's really important to charge up the charger uppers too. I feel like that's something that we really love to do a lot. It's so many people, I think everyone on this call and so many of us are kind of doing all this work to support, and it's really important to remember to charge ourselves up and charge each other up as well. So yeah. Tanya, you had something
I
to
was
add?
just going to say we can definitely chat about an event. So yeah.
Oh, great.
Oh yeah, I'd be, yeah, we can chat.
I love it.
I'll have some ideas too.
We love we're both visionaries. Crystal likes a little bit more ground level, and she's amazing with like all the front facing stuff, so like the marketing and the branding and banners and on the day of the event, and what we both don't love to do as much is all the kind of logistical back and forth and so operational
insurance
people are great
and
to
some
play
of
with
those
us,
logistical pieces. Although we really appreciate that
yes, Mike.
the church, they're really a great venue. They give you like a whole package for like how they want things done. So they're actually a really easy venue to work with, and they're not they're not difficult. So they're highly recommend them. Although not too much, because we did a lot of recommending them and then they were booked and we couldn't host our events there. So not really, but yes.
I have an assistant that does all that back end stuff.
Oh, amazing. Yes, exactly.
That's a wizard, because things are done like this. I'm like, oh, that should take her half a day, an hour later. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, exactly. That's a big thing for us, is we get into a little bit of this solo entrepreneur thing and we just head down and get going. And letting more support in is a 2023 thing we're going to call in. Yeah, more support.
That's part of the support, right? That support, this is part of it. And that's why I bit the bullet on it. I was like, yeah, I ain't doing this. I'm not going down this rabbit hole. I already started one business from scratch and bootstrapped it. So let's have some support this time.
Support this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mom, you were going to go?
Yay.
Well, speaking about, I'm unmuted, right?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, speaking about charging up the charges, that's what that's what happens for me here. I'm starting to fly high on where everybody's at and what they're sharing, and it's beautiful and inspiring and get emotional and an honor. And my name, so I'll launch into quick. I'm Kaisa. And I'm a transpersonal therapeutic counselor and specializing in trauma. And what I love doing and passionate about doing is, and that's why I'm so inspired being here, because I know all of us have come from a lot of stuff, a lot of heavy, and yet it didn't sink us and grab us, that darkness. We work with it, we be with it, and we come out and we honor our magnificence and who we are, and we're not afraid of that, because there's gifts in the dark and the trauma, and here we are, and it's beautiful. And I love supporting people, as I have learned through my own trauma journey. And thank you.
Thank you. For everyone who's new and doesn't know, this is my mom, Kaisa, and she lives with us here in our beautiful communal lighthouse in White Rock. And she is Unite's #1 fan, biggest supporter, and without her, the platform would not exist. So yes, yay, Mom. Thank you. She's a huge believer in everything that we do, and been a huge support. Tiny backstory, I never went to school. I was unschooled thanks to Mom. So she unschooled 6 kids, all 6 of us. And I feel like it's really supported me in being able to be where I am now much quicker in my life, because I did the trauma work and I did the big pieces much sooner, and I didn't spend as much time deprogramming from school and jobs that I hated, and I was really able to get into the entrepreneur life and the wellness world, I feel like, much sooner. So thanks, Mom. And she is an amazing counselor and just does wonderful work. And whenever we have events and parties here and things, and you can always find Mom in the corner making somebody cry as they're like processing their feelings right there. So yeah, doing great work. Thank you, Mom. And a huge supporter. She would always come and volunteer at our events and help out as well. So yeah. Yay, community. And like she was saying, and we were saying earlier about this online space that we're creating, we really do get to, even though it's online and it's not the same as in person, but I feel like I get that feeling when I talk to you guys. I get juiced up. I feel like we are creating a little vortex here. Yeah. We are creating vision for the future. We are creating synergy and support and believing in each other and cheering each other on. And I know even people, when they watch these back, and they're like, I could feel that vibe too, even though I wasn't there. Like, we know time's not linear and not going one way or the other. So we're really supporting, spreading the energy, spreading the message, spreading the support. And that's something that we didn't feel as much when we were starting out, that there wasn't as much community. Where were the people who were doing this work, and how did we connect in with that? And it kind of felt like something like we weren't quite, breaking into like, where's the it crew of the people that are doing this work? And so we created our own. So that's what we're doing here. And it's really nice when we get to tap in with other people and collaborate, like Mike said. And that's something that we want to do much more in the future, is really do those collaborations where we get to support each other, instead of all of us reinventing the wheel, being the kind of trailblazer at the front of the line. And I love the vision. We've talked about that for years, of the flying V of the Canadian geese, and they all take turns. There isn't one leader. They, someone's point person for a minute, and then they circle back and someone else is. And we love being point person on our events, and we're really happy to be, the back of the V, kind of pushing the energy forward as well. So yeah. Reach out, everyone tuning in, everyone here on the call, reach out, and yeah, it's our passion and pleasure to support all this community and everyone doing this amazing work. Yay.
Yeah, it really would be fun to do more events, and the only reason is because it feels too overwhelming, because we have so much else going on with the platform. So I feel like it would be, no one has really taken up that mantle and is hosting these big full day, like 100+ people events, where you can really do a lot of amazing community connection and have multiple different experiences, and it's just so lovely. So yeah, I would really love to chat. We'll chat Tanya and Mike and anyone else who wants to co-create, and it would be so fun. Like, I really would love to have a regular ongoing container that can just happen, and we can have different people stepping in and co-create it together, because yeah, why not? I just feel like it would be fun to do.
Totally.
Yay. Who else wants to share?
And,
Hi, I will.
Oh, go ahead.
Melanie.
Hi everyone, I'm Melanie. I have an upcoming live with a friend. She's going to be doing an IG live interview with me. We're going to be talking about winter wellness, so Q&A, just talking about our self-care tips. And I'm a holistic nutritionist, so we're not going to be talking, my focus is mainly with PMS and women's health. We're not going to be talking about it at the live, but just if anyone wanted to know. And yeah, so I'll be posting about the live on unite.love, but also Facebook. And also as well, I'm into photography, so I have some nature photos that I'm selling online, mainly photos of flowers, and they're mainly within BC because that's where I live. And also as well, you can request any nature type photos that you may want, or if you need photos of food, anything that you might want, for your business, or even like personally, you might be looking for something and you're like, oh, I want to print this and put it in my house. So yeah, I'm here to offer any creativity that you may need. Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you, Melanie. Melanie's
And
been
sorry, go on.
No, go. You finish.
Oh, I was going to say that I'm happy to hear that a few of you are interested in doing an event together, because I would like to join you as well. I just want to maybe think about how I can help, and what I might like to offer in that aspect.
Lovely.
Beautiful. So good. And what I was going to say is Melanie has been our #1 Unite Show fan, and I think she's tuned in almost every week that we've been doing this in the last little while, and it's really lovely to have you, and thank you for your continued support, Melanie. It really means a lot. I think this is our biggest love stream tonight so far. So, and for everybody who's not aware, you are tuning in live on the Unite platform through the love stream, which is really exciting and really manifestation of our vision come to life, that we wanted to create a space where people could go live anytime. So you can go on the love stream anytime, like you go live on Facebook. But when you go live on Unite, it's not just to your friends. It's going to be anyone in the Unite community can see it. And we're working on getting notifications and things set up. But right now, mostly you would better to pre-organize something rather than just go live, because not as many people are going to see it. But our vision is really to create a 24-hour space where you can go live anytime. People will be having amazing conversations like this, or doing an impromptu sound healing or jam, or how are we going to, you know, create eco villages and somewhere beautiful, like any of these beautiful conversations that we want to have. We wanted to create a space like what Clubhouse has done. If you know the Clubhouse platform, where you can go and have all these different conversations, audio only, we wanted to do that with video as well. So this is the love stream. We are using Zoom API, but it is tapped into our platform. So yeah, that's a huge shout out to our tech team, Swati and Arun, who have been building Unite for us for the last 2 years. So almost 2 years, year and a half. Yeah. Yay. Okay, we've got a couple more people we'd love to hear from. If you want to just take a quick moment to introduce yourself and say hi. This is being recorded and it is going to be reshared, so no pressure if you don't want to share, but we are holding a little space here where you can say if you have an offering for the community, an event coming up, and of course share any of your links in the chat. And then once we repost this, we're going to repost it to YouTube, and then around feel free to comment with your links as well, so everyone can find you.
Yeah. And any specific asks or questions for us or Mike?
Yes.
Or anyone.
Oh, where'd he go? There we go. All righty. Do you check the chat?
And if not, that's great.
We can keep chatting.
Yeah.
And continue to show people that these events are selling out and they're popular. People are enjoying them continuously, and I find that has a positive effect as well. But yeah, if there's only a few spots left, I definitely mention that. I definitely have some prompts on my Instagram posts and stories and things like that.
Very cool. Good question. That would be an interesting question if everyone wants to, just because we have a lot of new people on tonight, it would be really useful for us just to hear, out of all the marketing that we did for tonight, what was kind of the main way that you saw this event, or the only way that you saw it, or I know a couple people have come through Mike's event. So yeah, just curious if anyone wants to, just pipe in where you saw this event. And
nice one.
Yeah.
Soundcrest post.
I'll go. I'm on the Unite Vancouver Facebook group, so I know about it through there, and usually I'll save it as interested just to remind me that it's coming up, but also to get notified if you guys post anything as well.
Nice.
Nice, perfect.
And your topics have been wonderful so far. Yeah, thank you.
Pardon?
The topics have been wonderful.
So topics, yeah. And then maybe after, can you maybe talk about, do you know any topics coming up next month, or you're still planning on that?
Aw, so sweet. Thank you.
So Unite email through Mike's story on Instagram. Next week is Deidre Siriani, who I think Mike is actually working with as well. And we're going to be talking.
She's awesome.
She's amazing.
We lived with her actually for a little while as well in the last lighthouse. So
yeah.
Good egg.
Yeah. And so the topic is going to be all around leadership. So aligned leadership, how to put yourself in the best position emotionally and in all other ways to share a vision and gather support and work with people and co-create amazing things.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, nice. So a lot of email, a lot of Facebook. We've also built up a bunch of different groups. There's one big one called Unite Love Feed on Facebook, and that's for everything just general, that's not specifically local anywhere. So just fun posts, articles, things, cute videos.
No events that are in person. So it's all online events, and then just uplifting content anything, music lists, quotes, anything, just the love feed, just a wonderful space for only positive content. We found, especially years ago, when we would go on Facebook and it was just a lot of negative stuff. We wanted somewhere where people could go and it's just uplifting. And then, we've got a big Unite Vancouver group, and then we've got Unite Victoria, Unite Nanaimo, so all different areas, and we're working to build all those up as well. So if you can, feel free to reach out and let us know where you are, and we can see if we've got a group there, or if you want to help us start one, that's really helpful as well. And what we've been doing to build those groups is, again, reaching out to all the other groups in that area, because this is, like Shine was saying earlier, one of our challenges with Facebook is, there's 20 wellness groups in Vancouver, and a lot of the similar people, but different people, but you kind of have to post in all of them. And there's often, depending what the theme is of the group, there's a lot of stuff in there that I'm not interested in or don't think is really relevant to the community. So we do a lot of, all our Unite groups are curated personally by us. We approve every single post. So I do spend a little time every day going through all the groups, making sure that the content is really good and there aren't any spammers in there. So if you know anyone in any of the other groups, you can go to our Unite page on Facebook and then click groups, and you can see all the groups there. So if you know anyone in those areas as well too, we're really wanting to build up the community in these areas, and then support the communities there in starting their own meetups and in-person things too, where they can, like you guys were saying, about meeting in person, that it's really so valuable for us too, to where's the people, where's my people, where's the community. So we really want the Unite Facebook groups as well to be that, where it's like, okay, I'm like alone, I'm lonely, I feel alone here, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm in the business, I'm in the wellness, where's the people that I can just go for a walk with, or just do community with. So
we've also got a Unite singles group.
Yes.
Focusing on Vancouver right now.
That's a new thing we started because we had so much demand. We realized we had a Christmas gathering last week, and Shine and I were the only one in relationship in the gathering. I think we had over 20 people, and everyone was lovely, beautiful, spiritual wellness, all singles. And I was like, oh yeah, we need to support the community, the ones that want to connect up in finding each other. And so many people say, like, well, I'm not going to go to a club, or I'm not going to, how do you meet conscious people? And Shine and I met through community as well. And it really is, when we can't meet in person, which we haven't been able to for so long, how do we connect up?
Unite Tinder. That's what's happening.
Exactly. But you don't swipe for a hookup. You swipe for a sound healing and walk and cacao ceremony together.
I like the idea of, instead of it being focused on relationships and dating, of it being focused on group hangouts and meetups, and just knowing like, oh, that person's going to be there and they're single and blah, blah, blah. And then getting to organically connect. I don't know. I've never gone on dates. I find it kind of awkward. So I feel like we can tweak it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
That's a project in the future, but we thought it would be fun to just do a Facebook group for now.
That's something that so many people who came to especially the big church events, and they'd be like, oh yeah, the sound healer was amazing, yoga was amazing, vendors were amazing, but what was really amazing was all that in between time. We had so much social time where people were like, I met my new partner, I met my business partner, I met all these new clients, they got to actually connect and engage and hang out with people. And one of my pet peeves with a lot of wellness events that happen, and especially when you're at a venue and you get there for an hour and then everyone has to leave, and I'm kind of like, wait, don't go, I want to talk, I want to connect. And we really made it a priority with all our events that we had equal vending, hangout, social time as we did focus structure time. And that for us was a huge priority, that there was all that time where people could just connect with other people that share. I'd love to be in a room with all you guys and get to have one-on-one conversations right now, because I feel like there's just so much interconnected pieces that are just so fun to dig into. So highly recommend anyone who's hosting events, if you're able to have a little bit of before time if you can rent the venue or get the space a little bit early, to have a little integration time, even invite people to come in and like meditate or focus, just to bring the energy into the room. We did a lot of that. And then as much time as you can afterward for social time. A lot of time, you know, if you're able to do like a little potluck, or everyone brings tea or something afterward, and just create a little bit of that space, because I guarantee you, as amazing as your offering is, we always heard that for people, that just made like the icing on the cake. It set us apart from everybody. And that's when people became our raving fans. And that's when people really were like, oh, I want to be, I don't care what Unite's doing, I'm coming. And that's what you want, is you want those raving fans where you're not forgettable. You're not just another event or class, but you're actually like creating that experience that you can't get anywhere else. Like, it's so special and so unique. So highly recommend building that, and even go to a park or go to a cafe afterward. Yes, Tanya.
I just wanted to say, when I was hosting the Mind Valley events here, that's all people came for. They did not come for the content so I always just put everyone in a circle, and then we would go through the content, but we would do it all together, right? Because that's all anyone came for. I'm like, this is ridiculous. You're not selling what people want. And then the other thing I want to mention too is to clear the space before you have your event, to do a little clearing on it. Because when I was in Pula, Croatia, Mind Valley had an event, and I walked in the door and I went, oh, and it was so heavy. I'm like, what happened in here? It was the war veterans building, and nobody had cleared the space. I could barely hang out in that building the entire time. I hung out outside at this little cafe and got my chatting in that way. But yeah, also to clear the event. Not to say that any event would be like that here, but just to clear the energy for your purpose to be there.
What are some of the best ways that you found to clean up the energy in a space?
Energetically, I'll go through and say whatever comes to my head, right? And I'll call in the directions, and I'll call in the elements. And Palo Santo's my favorite. Sometimes sage puts people off, and some people don't like it, so I tend to use Palo Santo for that. And and just fill the room with love. I did that when we went up to Vedette, and they actually got to the cab. I got to the cabin first, and then I stepped to another area and I didn't see them pull in. They were like, we knew we were home when we came in the door. They really know, and I wasn't even there, and they noticed it. So that was really cool.
That's beautiful. That's really an important reminder too, that we are attracting, if we're hosting any kind of wellness energetic event, we are attracting people who are open and tuned in. And we've had so many people. We had a lovely testimony to the energy vortex we create in this home. We had someone come to one of our parties, and she said she'd had severe, was it sciatica? All day, super painful. She wasn't even going to come. She walked in the door and it went away. And she's like, and like in our house, like you're downstairs and you walk up to where everyone is upstairs. She's like, I didn't even see anybody. I was just like, oh, I'm home. Like, this is my place. This is my people. And yeah, it really is. Sometimes, you know, yoga studios and those places are probably already pretty primed. We've had that funny experience in the church. They host AA meetings regularly, and a lot of times they'll be hosting them downstairs when we're hosting our like cacao ceremony upstairs. And sometimes people will get like mixed up, and we'll get these little odd ducks coming in like, is this the right place? And obviously they're meant to go downstairs, but we create a really funny multi-level experience there. But I think it's just creating that vortex is very valuable. So thanks for bringing that up, Tanya.
Absolutely. Yeah, I bet this doing a quick like sound healing would do it too. Just ripple.
Yeah, I always warm up the instruments in the room before the event, before anyone arrives, and a smudge, and play some nice music, maybe some 432 hertz vibes on the speaker, and yeah, it really helps to prime the energy in the space before people arrive, for sure. Yeah, you want people walking the room like, and just like, it's a safe place to let go and surrender and receive. That's what it's all about.
It's such a real thing.
Yeah,
it is.
Like we've walked into like we went and stayed at our friend's cabin on Pendra Island, and we stayed at her. So she bought the place next to hers, so she had two cabins door to door, and we went from one to the other one, and the other one was owned by someone else, and she hadn't really been there yet. And so as soon as we walked in, the difference, like she had been doing all this ceremony and had this like crystal grid and portals, and like it's just, she had been living and her family had been living there, and it was like 50 years old, so it had all this energy. And we went to the place next door, and it was just like so different. Just feeling, you're like, oh God. And it only took a little bit, and we were kind of, I think we were like singing and playing music, and after a while it just lightened up, and now it feels great and similar. But it was so shocking. Like we've gone into Airbnbs too, where we're like, nope, like not staying here. And it's just so like clear, but so hard to visualize, like physicalize.
Hard to quantify what that is, but it's real.
It's funny. It's really cool. But I have found that being happy or singing or playing music or whatever you do can quickly shift it, and it's just fascinating. Yeah, very interesting. I want to like visualize this. There's going to be technology that can visualize this.
Yeah, that can see the different energetics of like where the stuck energy is.
So interesting.
Yeah.
On a quick sidebar that's sort of related, I saw today that there is a new technology company. I don't know if it's real. I think it's real. It was on a guy's website who's like a venture capitalist investing in kind of world-changing ideas. So I think it's real. And it's basically a device that lifts heavy objects with sound.
Wow.
And so it showed these people, like workers, construction workers, with these like beams that were lifting like crates, like trucking containers without.
That's how they built the pyramid.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know if it's real now, but it was a visual, like it was a cartoon kind of drawing of people doing this, and it was on a person's site who does investments. So I'm like, I think people are working on this tech that's just pretty out there. We're living in the future.
Yeah,
there's a whole bunch coming down the pipeline. It's all coming back. So it's going to be pretty phenomenal. So I've seen a few things too where I'm like, that's it.
If you want to have some fun, go to Google Chat GPT, OpenAI, and try it. And you can type in things like, give me like a whole marketing plan for my wellness sound healing business, or give me some SEO terms or blog posts or whatever, like pretty much most things you can ask it. And it's very good.
Yeah.
Like
it's wild.
It's crazy. Like you can write blog posts, you can, it does it in seconds.
If you're feeling stuck, I feel like a lot of us creatives, sometimes it can be hard, especially to take our baby and talk about it in a way that doesn't feel like either we're trying to like say everything about it in like 2 lines, or we're, focused on one specific piece and we're not actually giving a well-rounded version of it. And we've done lots of like getting other people to read it and write it, but it's a really great way to get like a baseline start. And then you can go in and add details, but it really helps to kind of get that like initial, like, how do we even talk about my baby and make it sound cohesive and coherent? So, yeah.
And thank you, Allah Vafe Surya Dragantarva.
You're going to have to tell us
I'm
how
definitely
to
not saying
that
right. I love it. Feel free to jump on. But he wrote something about helping to create the space, and definitely one of the sad things about our events is taking them down.
Yes.
And sort of spending all this time, setting it up. Crystal makes the space so beautiful, and her amazing she runs the volunteer team, and it just makes the space like look like a palace, and it's just gorgeous. And then we take it down in 12 hours later.
It feels a little bit like kind of like tearing up your like baby, or like, you put all this love in and then it's like, and we're done.
And the energy is like vibrant in there, and then you take it down. And so definitely one of the things that we will do in the future is create a space. Yeah. So a physical space, we want to call it the Unite Center. And we have a building, we're looking at on 4th Avenue in Kitts. And we want it to be this place where you can go in, and it's got a store and food and hangout space, and you can like work on your project there, and kind of like a co-working vibe. And then it's also got event space for yoga, sound healing, bigger events. And then also like a spa with treatment rooms and maybe a like hammam kind of, steam sauna vibe, and somewhere where you could just go and hang out all day and have your food, do your work, have your class, meet some people. And it's just the spot to go and hang out with people. And it's surprising that it doesn't really exist. I don't know. They built one in Edmonton, but it closed. And people haven't really figured out the model. But I think with the Unite technology platform, we can help solve the biggest problem for spaces like that, which I think is just revenue in the door and people in the door.
Yeah, well, and that's what we find is that there's lots of lovely wellness spaces, but mostly they're there. You go in and you do your class and then you leave, and they don't really have. It's not designed and it's not set up to be able to stay there all day, to be able to hang out all day. I used to really like when I lived in East Van. What was it called now? The yoga studio by the Safeway there.
I don't know.
They had a little tea room and
Unity
yoga, and they had a little tea room and they did sell tea there, and so they did encourage you to kind of hang out for a little bit. And often, especially when I had my 2 young babies and I'd finally got someone to babysit and I was getting out to a class, I would like hang out for an hour or 45 minutes after the class, just like drinking my tea and being able to have my space. But what it was missing was, of course, it was meant to be a very quiet Zen space. So there wasn't space for you to have conversations and to meet up with people and to create that community vibe. And that's really, Shine was part of creating Zen Conscious Lounge downtown a bunch of years ago. And that was a lovely space where we would go, and it was a vegan restaurant, and they would host wellness events, and we would go, and every time we went, there was like almost every time it was someone we knew, and it was like the spot, and you go there and we would just go to events. It didn't matter who was doing it or what, just because we knew a bunch of people who were like us would be there, and we built some really great relationships. And we really miss having a spot. We're always like, where's the spot where we just go and there's people that we like and we get along, and we're just like, oh yeah, you can hug people right away and hang out on your computer and work if there's nobody you want to chat with in that moment. So that's, for us, is a really huge vision, is to create a center. And we were looking at centers and creating a space, and what we kept coming back to is all the people we knew who had centers, who had restaurants, who had lounges, who had any of these spaces. Their number one problem was marketing. They spent most of their money and energy on marketing, and they were still under capacity. They still needed more people. So they were always pushing, always hustling, because they had that overhead. And what we really got clear on was, we don't want to be another statistic of a failed business. So we need to create some kind of online platform where people know, because people would still be like, I had no idea this space was here. I didn't even know it was here. I would have come and supported, but now they're closed and went under because they couldn't make their rent. And we said we needed to create an online way where everyone could find us, and then get that, once we know that we can fill up an event, once we know that we can fill up a space, then we create the physical space, so that we're not just buried in the logistics of running a space and never actually being able to get anywhere because of that overhead. So that's what brought us to building the platform first. So yeah.
Go ahead, Elva Faye.
And tell us how to say your name, please.
Elva Faye, can you hear me? Is
Yeah.
my mic working? All right. So it's Elva Faye. And
Nice.
I like that you touched on the fact that, again, like, I've been to so many of these festivals and events where they create paradise for a weekend or for a day, but then you tear it down. It's so counterintuitive, because if I always look at it as a garden, we're growing gardens. But if you tear up what you just planted after 3 days or a week, then what kind of fruit are you going to get? So there's a dire need for these places that are actually permanent, sustainable. And the problem is, it's not about, if you approach it from a business standpoint, then you're limited by the business, whatever energy. It has to be community centers. It has to be places people can live and work and thrive and grow, and they'll become millionaires, and they'll support the system. There's a bit of trust involved in the beginning, because one thing that's interesting is the history of universities is they started with cathedrals. They started with religious places where you could come and live for free. They would feed you. You'd have access to all the resources. And that was the beginning of a university. You know, there was no fees. And they were supported by the rich people of the time, you know, whoever were the princes or the kings. They saw the value of these spaces and supported them. So like, I just moved to Vancouver because I know this is the richest city, one of the richest cities in the world. So there's tons of people who have a lot of money that don't know that don't know what to do with it. And again, it's just about finding those threads. You know, there's a lot more conscious people rising up. There's a lot more heartful people that, you know, once you get the ideas out to the right people, it'll build itself. It'll support itself. But it's about, again, how, you know, if you think of it only from a business standpoint, then you're just going to be another business statistic. But I've seen too many of these things that they call it community minded, but they're just creating clients. They're not creating community, you know, like, to be completely honest. And then then they fail and then they complain. Well, but like, look at your starting point, you know, look at your foundations were always rooted in just creating clients, right? So all these things are possible. You know, they've been done hundreds of years ago before the internet, and now we have the internet, which you can make so much more money on, right? And get things on YouTube and TikTok and get the youth involved. They'll easily raise billions of dollars to sustain these things, you know, for eternity. So that's kind of my purpose. That's what I'm here to do as well. And I want to hold these events. And I also do a lot with music and sound therapy and
beautiful.
I was a doctor, but I quit healthcare because of all the bullshit in that industry and system. Again, it's money and health and wellness are never really supposed to be that entangled. It's like, if we believe in free healthcare, then we need to also act like it. So it's
beautiful.
Nice.
I feel like you would have you connected with Riley and the Dusk to Dawn community?
No, again, I'm new to this city, so I'm still finding all these communities.
Reach out and we'll plug you in, because Riley has created, and I don't know a lot about his space yet, but he's working to create an event space, and it's more of a conscious rave space, event space, so that he's got a lot of the young community, but doing really beautiful kind of and games nights and really
everything arts. I think it's all
very arts, very
moody.
very like young burner communities. So yeah, they're doing some lovely work as well. So I think you'd like to tap into that community. And I'd love to hear from Sophia a little bit, because you do actually have a space, and here we are talking about spaces, and just kind of, if you have anything to weigh in about what have been like the hard pieces for you with the space, and yeah, anything we can do to support your space thriving and doing well. And
I like the idea of creating more community events, and I think that'll probably be more of my focus in 2023, creating more gathering, and I'll probably do something like that. And I like what you mentioned about having the potlucks and like a space for tea and people just sitting and just chatting and connecting. And you know, and about your the Unite, what was that? The Unite Love for Singles, the single groups.
Yes.
That I do these tarot readings, and I seem to get quite a few people who are actually single, and then they're like, so the question is, where am I going to find my partner? And so I referred a couple of people, but I think they're feeling shy to like sign up on there and say like, I don't really know what's happening in that group. Like, that would be nice to get more information on what's actually happening in that singles group. Are people meeting up? Like, where are you guys meeting up?
Yeah, exactly. That's really the intention. Is we wanted to create the container, and we are also have a million little projects on the go. So it was really our intention to create the container and start to put some feelers out about how we can kind of develop this. But definitely the main idea is that people in the group are like, hey, who wants to do a meetup in this area? Who wants to do a meetup at this area? Come on, let's go bowling together. Let's. And so your space would be
You
really.
should do a singles yoga, singles sound healing.
Well, that's what
potluck.
they were asking me to do that. Like, and I don't even know how I would do something like that. Like, they were like, maybe mix sound and yoga. And then I was like, oh, I'm not sure.
Oh, do it.
Yeah,
But maybe I could connect with you guys and you can give me some guidance.
That up. That's easy.
We'd love to help with that. And then exactly, if you kind of do a little structured thing at the beginning, so everyone feels comfortable, they get relaxed in the space, they feel less pressure. And then a potluck, if you're able to host that and to hold that space for a potluck, it's amazing. People are deep messing with food and chatting, so they get out of their own way a little bit. And then even if you want to do like little integration games, like, you know, take your plate of food and go talk to someone for 1 minute, tell them, you know, what your blah, blah, blah was, what your best memory was this week, what was the best experience. Okay, 1 minute's up, next, you know, and just kind of do a little bit of facilitation. And then after that, you just let everybody go.
The most important thing for me in like creating events, and I can really feel energy can we get out?
Yeah.
Okay. I can really feel energy in a room. And so for me, when there's a group of people where the energy is really harmonizing, it feels so nice. And one of my favorite experiences is just to sit back at an event that I helped create and just watch as like it's just so beautifully unfolding, and just feel this like I helped do this and it's so nice and everyone's flowing. And I find that if you can create something that brings people into their hearts and harmonizes their energy first, so like yoga, sound healing, meditation, something that aligns the energy, so that when potluck happens or when there's time to mingle, people are in a very different state, which then alleviates a lot of that shyness and creates more just good things and synchronicities, because people are now in a heightened, better state. And so they're more in that receptive mode. They're more likely to sort of attract positive experiences and connect with people. And I think it really can help, because sometimes potlucks, it's just, people who know each other just go into different groups and they don't talk to each other. And it's just, you only talk to the people you already know, and that's not the point. And so I think doing things that can really bring people into their hearts and connect them, to their higher self, that's something really magical. And I think that's when Crystal and I met, we both had sort of sworn off dating for the moment. We were both single and not interested in dating anymore, and just wanted to really focus on being our own best self. And I was fully immersed in business and really loving it and so happy. And she was really into personal development and doing all these workshops. And both of us had kind of individually decided to just focus purely on our own happiness and to become, as Crystal said, like, I want to attract a 10 out of 10. So I need to be a 10 out of 10. I need to be a match to the person that I want. And so we both did that work. And for her, it was about, I think, a week after she sort of set that intention of not dating for a year that we met and we started dating. And so it was this funny thing of when, you stop looking and you're in this heightened, good feeling state, that's when that magic happens. And I think a lot of people who might be in that roller coaster of being single and not finding someone and dating weird people and it's just not flowing, I think it's all to do with the energetics of their own being. And so the more that people can find their own practice to align, and we can create these events that help with that, but really it has to be their daily practice that facilitates it. But yeah, it's a super interesting place.
Yeah, so when you're conducting that event for singles, So are you putting an age limit? Like how would that be done? Like if I was to do that at the yoga studio, am I then saying it's going to be people from like 35 to 50 or I don't know. Do you know what I mean? And then am I saying, are they?
Yeah, yeah. Or actually, for anyone who's has questions or has put stuff in the comments, try and post it in the Unite Vancouver chat or Unite Vancouver Facebook group.
Yeah.
And especially if you have like a question or you're looking for people or things, because that can get a ton of replies and it can really create a nice community. So there's a couple people doing conscious single events in Vancouver already, and they do have an age thing. So I'll just connect you with, her name is Naomi. Prima Deva on Facebook, and I'll connect you with her.
Some ideas,
yeah, she usually does like 35 to 55, and then like 20 to 35 or whatever the ranges are that people want. And she'll have different ones.
Yeah, I guess I should actually attend one of those sessions, and then I'll probably have a better idea. Yeah,
I think it's called conscious speed dating. I don't know if she's doing them regularly, but
and remember that people are going to be attracted to what you're offering because they want your vibe as well and your flavor. So either you could facilitate, or you could just hold space and get a facilitator to come in as well. But I think a lot of times, especially when you're starting out, we find you kind of be honest with people. Let's try it and see. Anyone's welcome. And if I end up with one really young person and one really old person, I'm going to be like, hey, sorry guys, I'm picking, make some new, ask them to, okay, so Tony here is 75. Obviously there's no women here his age. Who do you know? Let's help Tony out. Let's set him up. Come on. And you just get the community involved to support as well. And then, yeah, maybe you do put in an age limit, but what we find mostly is when you set the container and set the intention, it kind of sorts itself really well. And even if people don't find a date, they get connection. They get to talk to people, they get to connect, especially if you do something like where, they get to like hold hands or like hug, or like people like, oh, I get to touch people. Oh my God. Endorphins are amazing, right? So little things like that, even if they don't find a date, they're being exposed to people who are open to connecting. And that's a really, really valuable gift. And in those conversations and in that session, you can set up a few ideas about how to get over some of your barriers. We actually did a love stream about dating. We can send you the link. And we had a couple of really amazing relationship coaches on the call, and they had some really great feedback and ideas about how to support people lining up with starting to date and to find that person too. So even if you just share some resources like that and share some ideas, that can just help them along the way. And chances are, they're not going to find their soulmate the first time out, or it might take a few times to come out, but it's just getting everyone in that energy, getting people open and receptive. So I think that way, even if there's not, there's no one that you're interested in, it doesn't matter. You're still getting a lot of value just from being in the community. And they might create like a little support group for each other, and like, let's be like date buddies and be your wingman, and let's go out together and we can support each other, because it's lonely and scary to go out on your own sometimes. So like, okay, let's like the three of us go out and try and pick up some people and make some friends. So they could create a buddy system too.
Okay.
One thing I want to.
Bye, Tanya.
Thank you so much for tuning in, love. Excited to connect soon, and let's see what magic we can create.
Yeah.
All right, jump on in.
To touch on this subject, because I lived in Saskatoon mostly, and my partner and I there, we started organizing cuddle parties, and those made huge waves in the community, because again, it's creating that container of again, connection through touch. And also we practiced a lot of like consent exercises at the start to get people into a more conscious mind state. But that's a suggestion for Sophia, is not even having a dating event, but have an event that's about touch and connection in that way. And it's like a very safe container, very safe space. And from that, like, there's so many amazing connections that are gonna flourish just naturally. So that's something again, I have a lot of experience with creating and setting. Definitely connect if there's interest.
Nice.
Because even with yoga can be a little bit you're still in your own space very much, right? And my mat, your mat. So
What I was
finding a
actually
way to bridge that.
Exactly what I was going to suggest is we were speaking earlier about our yoga beach parties, which we hosted quite a few over the summers. And we found it was super fun because it attracted actually a lot of people who wouldn't come to our more spiritual events because it was on the beach. It felt safe and open, and just a yoga beach party. It was fun. And we did them down at Jericho, and we attracted quite a few like UBC students. And we always did acro yoga, which a lot of people, like, I would never go to an acro yoga class because for me, I'm not flexible enough. I'm not advanced enough. They're going to be doing scary things and I'm going to die. So that would be my intimidation. But when we did the acro yoga at the yoga beach party, it was very relaxed. The instructor would show a little move. People would kind of pair up and try it and then switch and try it with someone else. And if you didn't want to, you could just watch. But what we found was so amazing was people were touching each other, and people were touching strangers and trusting each other to support each other. And, these little people were holding up these big people and feeling like, wow, I'm so strong. Like this little older woman, and she had like a man, like she was, flying, and she was like, wow. So it just created this instant intimacy, really, and connection. So that could even be something you could start with an acro yoga class and then flow into like a cuddle puddle. And people have already touched each other. They've already okay, like they're safe to touch other humans, because it takes a little bit of that like intro and breaking down the barriers. But we found the acro yoga was great, and it was basic acro yoga. It wasn't, we started just flying people, and that was like, some people that was enough, and then just a couple basic moves where they just got to play and got to try it out. And it really, people were amazed by how strong they were, and I never thought I could do that. And it really like built everybody up, and that would be a super fun basic intro to acro yoga flowing into a cuddle puddle. I think that would be an awesome event. And it's a good way to test out each other's energy too, right? So you can kind of see, oh, I really vibe with the way you're supporting people in this experience and in this process. And, instead of like dating where you're like sitting and like asking each other questions and stuff. So yeah, we have lots of ideas. Don't worry. Idea you all day long.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Elva Faye, if you're on Facebook, send us a message and share in the Unite Vancouver group, because that's where we're most active. Yeah. It's a really fun place to start conversations like this. And then we always tag people that, have interests or have ideas. It's our favorite thing in the world, to connect people and to link people up and to, spread the word. So keep reaching out, and we'll keep collaborating. Yeah. Any other
cool at your Unite Fest? I found that just because you get into your own lane as kind of a solopreneur, right? And you kind of feel, it sometimes gets lonely, right? Because you're always just kind of doing your own thing. And then to come to your event, I think it was in April.
May 1st, yeah.
And it kind of opened my eyes, like, wow, there's so many people in this like healing arts community. They're all like doing kind of not exactly the same thing, but they're on the same vibrational frequency. And I made a lot of connections that day. So it kind of made me realize I need to do that a lot more. I need to just go out in person and like be like belly to belly with people and like really like feel the energy of other people, rather than just kind of doing my own events by myself and doing other things online. Like, it's really important to like really connect in real life. And so yeah, thanks for putting that together. That was a great day.
Oh, that's lovely.
Pleasure.
So sweet.
Sophia had a booth there.
Yeah.
She was doing readings.
Yeah.
It's the Unite Love Feed group. That's for more general content. There's also Unite Vancouver group. There's even now a Unite Fraser Valley group for like White Rock and the surrounding areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We realized we needed to connect with the tribe out here as much as we love the Vancouver tribe.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh,
Yay.
so good.
This was fun.
So fun. Thank you, everyone.
Any other bits before we sign off? This feels like it was really, really valuable and amazing.
Yeah. So fun.
I'll mention maybe a few key points, like going back to, hosting events and filling them and being successful if you want to be in the health and wellness events space. I've found the most success comes from my model of working in different locations and doing them once per month in each location to create some scarcity and space between these events in each location. And then the second thing would be partner with strategic venues that you can leverage for marketing and sales, because they'll have ideally a large community already existing that you can tap into. And then the third thing, of course, is if you consistently create a great experience for people, what you do will start to just sell itself. And the momentum of word of mouth will eventually do a lot of the marketing work for you.
That's what we found with our
2 points. Wanted to kind of make it a concise kind of message.
I love it.
Perfect. And like you were saying earlier at the beginning, Mike, that you're offering a workshop for exactly this, for supporting wellness event producers and to be able to really rock it and do what you're doing, translate it into different modalities, whether it's cacao ceremony, whether it's sound healing, whether it's even yoga classes, and be able to create this model so that, like yourself, they can become just doing this. Their whole job is just one thing, instead of all of us being so often multipreneurs and having multiple projects going on. So for everyone who's just tuned in, you can find that at soundquest.ca. You can find Mike's workshop there. It's starting in January, as well as you'll be able to see all his upcoming sound healings in and around the Lower Mainland.
Soon on Unite as well.
Exactly.
We'll get all his stuff up there.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me on, and really enjoyed it. Great conversation. Great to meet everybody else on here.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
I just have two quick things if people have time. If not, you can jump off. One is, like Mike was saying, the key with events, and I think with any business, is creating something that's so good that people will tell people about it and they'll come back, and it'll just create this word of mouth momentum. And once you find that sweet spot, you can really scale it to anywhere that you want and grow it as big as you want, because you have that sort of that wave behind you, like you're surfing. And doing it any other way, it's literally like trying to surf without the wave, or getting up on it and getting thrown off. It's really, really valuable and really important to just test and find something that is so good that people tell other people about it organically without you asking them to. And you just find that you're just getting so much word of mouth and people are coming back, and it's just so valuable and in and of itself amazing that it just spreads. And just tweaking and testing, because we can all create something that will get people, and we can all push enough marketing to get to fill a room, or get people into something. But if you find that you're having to continually promote and it's just feels hard and it's always a thing, tweak and try different things and test, and just look for those and talk to people and look for those, what are people really wanting, and what can I do to make this, even adding, the potluck afterwards, or doing little tweaks that can bring people more value and create that amazingness, I think is so valuable, and will over time really save you so much time and money in marketing and all that stuff. So that's one. And then the second one is with all this amazing conversation on business and tactics and community, it's all really based also on our own ability to be present and to get the idea in the first place and then execute on that idea and do the marketing and make enough money to do what we're loving to do and all that stuff. And so just wanted to send a quick shout out to the mental well-being and the inner being and how that's really the most important and the foundation of all of this. And for me, I'm really loving an Abraham Hicks practice called the receiving mode, where I meditate and then I start receiving these positive thoughts and I'll let the momentum build. And if you go to the Unite.love YouTube channel, you can find a video that I did talking more about that. But just wanted to add that into the conversation, as it is the most important thing, to take care of yourself and have a healthy, happy mind, as well as body and financial and everything else.
Yeah, and do remember that we're a team. Shine and I, we work together. We support each other a lot when we get into those like funky moments when it feels hard and we feel stuck. And if you don't have those people in your life, please reach out. And we're happy to be those people for you and help connect you with other people as well, because really, like, we don't need to do this alone. And we're all going through the same pieces, and it's the same self-doubt, and it's the same, maybe people aren't going to like what I have to offer, and, whatever the pieces are, and to really have a sounding board and have someone there to just kind of bounce us back and forth. The entrepreneur life, like Mike was saying, can be a lonely one if we're not careful. It can be easy just to get into our own little world. And I think, it can just exponentially increase our ability to offer what we want to offer and to get it out there in a clear, palatable way for the people that we want to reach. If we not only fill ourselves up, take care of our own mental, emotional state, but also reach out, connect with community, get feedback from your community, get support from your community. And if you don't have a community, reach out to us, because that's what we're doing. Yeah. And we're building it, and we're happy to make connections and match people up. And here you guys are, like, so often we come across people and we've known a couple people and we're like, how do you not know each other? Like, you're the same, like energetically, like we just share this vibe, and it's just so fun when we can put those pieces together. So don't do it alone. We're here. And
if you ever have that thing that says, oh, there's so many other people doing this, why should I add into that? There's already sound healers, why should I do it?
Mike's the best, why should I even do sound healing?
Just think about that.
Right, like students signing up for my course, Sound Healer Business Blueprint. And they're like, well, isn't it going to like saturate the market and all this stuff? And I'm like, okay, look, there's two in just Metro Vancouver Regional District where we live. There's 2.5 million people here, right? And I did some calculations, and I'm like, okay, well, how many people am I actually like? How many people have come to my events in like a year? And it's around like 2,500 people. Wow. So, that is like 0.1% of the total population here in the greater or the Lower Mainland. And so there's plenty of room, and this is an emerging trend still. So it's like people really haven't even caught on to this thing yet. So there's plenty of room for more. I think if you're thinking like that, it's a scarcity mindset. And I think that there's plenty of room, and everyone that's going to be doing it is totally unique. They're going to have their own signature style. They're going to have their own background. They're going to have their own medicine bag to bring through in the experience. So they're going to get their own following. They're going to gain momentum. Some people are going to resonate with them. Some people, maybe I'm not some people's style. Maybe some people like more ethereal type spiritual. I mean my events are that, but I think that I focus more on like this quantitative scientific kind of stuff with sound. So I'm just saying that there's plenty of room for more. And even
exactly, even if there was the same like a sound healer an hour in one spot, there would still be because they really are exactly like you said. Everyone's going to be attracted to a different vibe, a different energy, a different, they're just going to catch it at a different time. And it's 100%. There's 7.78, is there almost 8 billion now people on the planet, and there really is, there's enough to go around 100% and more, because I might like one style one day and one style the next and one style the next, and we really, the more the better. So yeah.
And I'm really enjoying like meeting these new communities, and by doing the private sound baths with people that are just kind of finding me and wanting me to come out and do a session. So a couple weeks ago, I went out and I got contacted by these people that live out by like UBC, and this like, they live in this like mansion, and they call the mansion the Ark. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Deus and Aga?
It was Paul and
oh, there's another one now.
Yeah, I've heard that there's a couple of these.
Yeah.
Paul and Kara they're like a couple, but there's like 12 or 13 people that live in this mansion. So I drive out there and I'm like, where am I? I'm in this like neighborhood full of mansions, like giant houses. And then I go up this driveway and I'm like, where am I? And I go and do this sound bath for this amazing group of people. And they're all kind of like burner types, and they're real funky bunch of people, really cool. And I think Alpha Faye, I think you would really resonate with that crew over there.
Nice.
But yeah, it's just cool to see, like, I think Vancouver, this area, it's not obvious that these communities exist, but once you kind of plug in to certain people, is like all of a sudden connections start to just manifest, and you're kind of in this social pipeline. And so, yeah.
Plug into this one. I grew up in Vancouver. I lived here my whole life, and I always felt like a bit of an outsider. I felt like I was always in between different communities and never really fit in, and I didn't know where the wellness community was. I didn't even know that was the community I was looking for. And it wasn't until I met Shine 7 years ago when I really was like, oh, this is my community. These are my people. And really, there's a lot of people call it cliquey, that Vancouver can be very cliquey. And what I find it is because Shine used to live in Victoria years and years ago, and he said because the wellness community was much smaller there, someone would host like a big sacred dance event and all the wellness people would come, because that was, so you would know everybody, because there was like 200 of them and that was it. So, everyone was just in one spot. But here there's like, you can have like the, this type of yoga people and then that type, and they don't really, and it's not like there's a wellness community. There's so many, because there is such a big community here, it can actually become a bit insular as well. So what we really wanted to create with Unite is not like, oh, this is the kirtan community, or this is the sacred dance community, or this is the ecstatic dance community. What we wanted to create was a community where we are really supporting the uplifters. We're really supporting the people that are bringing good into the world and bringing wellness into the world. And that's kind of our mandate. It's not a certain modality or a certain style, and always coming from love and support for humanity and mental and emotional well-being. And that's really, I feel like, a bit of a unique community in Vancouver, that we're not based around actual one style of offering. So yeah, connect with Shine if you want connections. And that's what we want Unite to be, is obviously Shine's only one person, and he gets like daily people like, who do I go to for this? Where's the this for that? And that's why we're creating the platform, so we can actually create a living document where we'll be storing all that information, so that people can find it will be like having a best friend in the community who's already plugged in and can be like, yeah, here's the healthy restaurants, here's the yoga spaces, here's the sound healing places, here's the co-working places, here's where you buy your eco couch, and here's where you buy your raw dog food. And like,
wait till we plug in the AI bot into Unite. That'll take it to the next level.
Yeah, well, it's a really beautiful vision you guys have, and you guys are full of really great ideas. So I'm excited to see what unfolds over the coming years from this. And yeah, it's really great that I was able to connect with you guys, and now we're building this thing. You know, it's really cool.
Exactly. Now you're in. We've got you.
Yeah.
Not letting you.
And touching on Ella Faye's mention about rich people wanting to do good things. If you know any people who have, it doesn't have to be a whole lot of money, but if people are looking to support things like this, it can be anywhere from smaller amount to larger amounts. We are raising money for Unite to help build the platform and grow the team and make this even better. And so definitely on the lookout for mentors, investors, and people like that.
Yeah. Right now we're committed to this full time. This is since Shine and I have got together, we've been able to only do events and the Unite platform. So we haven't worked any other jobs. So we have been sustained by our community, and we're definitely looking to continue that. And the more money we can receive from investment or from the community that wants to support, of course, the faster we can build out the platform, because this is really just version 1.0.5, the baby beta. So yeah, even if there's one part of the platform that you'd really like to be like, if this was working like this chunk, I'd really love to, just here's $5,000, let's make this happen. And so
sponsor a feature.
Exactly. Sponsor a feature. Let's make it happen.
We've also still got our crowdfunding going on where people have donated offerings, and we're offering them at like 50% off of what the regular price is. And so if you are looking, it's kind of like a Groupon for wellness right now. So there's all sorts of different offerings and classes and sessions. And so check out, I wonder where to go for that. It's Visionary Tribe.
Yes.
Visionary Tribe, which is it's a conscious crowdfunding platform.
Yes.
Which is amazing. Visionarytribe.com, I think.
Yeah.
And just search for Unite on there, and they're
and she wants to do this as help fund. She's
Kamara Kasson.
Yeah, she's done an amazing job and wants to help fund wellness eco retreats and earth ships and events and whatever you want to build, and we really want to support her creating getting the wellness community there as well, where we get to support each other and uplift each other in that way too. So.
And speaking of mansion vibes, we have a mansion in White Rock overlooking the water, gorgeous, ridiculous house. And we have one room and a 2-bedroom suite available anytime. So if you know anyone or if you're looking, let us know.
Not available anytime. They're both available in January 1st.
Available now.
Available now, yes. Yeah, so. And we do from time to time have openings. So yeah, reach out if you want to live in a high vibe community.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you,
Sending
everyone.
you all so much love. That was so fun.
Oh, so good.
Thank you, Mike, for being the special guest and sharing your juice.
Yes. Thank you
so
much.
Thank you for having me. That was great.
Yeah.
Tune in. We're so far going to be doing this every every Thursday at 6:15. So check back, and we're if you want to be a speaker or there's a subject that you want to share on, please do reach out and let us know. And
or if there's a subject you want covered and you have a speaker in mind, or just
exactly.
just a subject, and we can find someone.
Exactly. Yes. And we've done 5 or 6 now. So there's a couple of really great recordings, relationships, mindset, SEO, and website stuff. So yeah, all the juicy stuff.
And then there's a bunch from last summer too that we did. So there's about 12 or 13 now.
Yeah.
Yay. Thank you, everyone. Mwah, mwah. Good job. That was so fun.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll touch base and connect with y'all.
And remember, please be the squeaky wheel. We have a lot of stuff going on. So if you don't hear from us, like send us another message and another message and another message and another message. Please do until we say stop, because we do want to connect, and sometimes messages get lost. So yeah.
Lots of love, everyone. Mwah. Good job doing all the good things in the world and spreading love.
Thanks,
We're doing
everyone.
so good. Take care.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.